This one is already out. Again, it's fine. Everything's fine. Hi everyone, my name is Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and today I'm coming to you with a little bit of a check-in with my NetGalley shelf. I did this video about 7-8 months ago, and my NetGalley shelf looks really different from when I did it 7 and 8 months ago. There are still some books that are on my NetGalley shelf from 7 or 8 months ago. However, I have read almost all of them except 4. So I think that's pretty good. I'm doing pretty well with keeping up with my arcs. I'm pretty happy with myself. However, I have requested a lot more. My current percentage for NetGalley is 70%. They want you to be at 80, so, I'm close. I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll get to 80 early next year. I do not foresee that happening by the end of the year, but it's a possibility for early next year. Anyway, let's dive in and see what is new on my NetGalley shelf. So the first book on my list is Her Dark Enchantments by Rosalind Breyer. This book is already out. To be honest, I think I actually put it on as a read now, and it was already out when I did that. Someone was reading it in the comments of one of my sprints, and it sounded like something I would definitely enjoy because it is a fairy tale retelling, reimagining situation. The evil fairy that puts Sleeping Beauty into her slumber, this follows her story. It's kind of a villain origin story. How did she become the wicked fairy that she is? What made her want to turn evil? And that's what this follows. We all know I love a fairy tale retelling, reimagining, what have you. And I think this kind of look into the villain origin story is very intriguing. Next, we have Night Will Find You by Julia Heberlin. And this book I have as an audio arc. I actually don't have the physical copy. I just have the audio. This is a psychological thriller that follows Vivi. Vivi is the daughter of a known psychic. And at the age of 10, she actually helps rescue a boy who is missing and helps saves him from a vision that she has. This boy is now an adult. He is a cop, and Vivi is an astrophysicist, and he is looking into the cold case kidnapping of a little girl. He reaches out to Vivi and says, "You found me. Can you help me find this child, or what happened to this child?" And Vivi does just that. So it's a little bit of a psychic situation going on with Vivi. What is Vivi able to see and know? And also a cold case. As a person who watches a ton of cold case files on, true crime podcasts or on TV, cold case books is always something that I find very interesting. So this was an easy add-on to my NetGalley shelf. And it is already out. I'm behind. It's okay. We're going to be able to say that for a few books on here. Next, we have Sunshine Nails. This one I'm very excited about, and I do not know why I haven't read it, but I actually just got the audio of this on my Libby. So hopefully I will get to this very soon. I have obviously the NetGalley arc of this on my Kindle, and I need to read this because it is a book set in Canada. And I love reading books set in Canada. I don't read enough of them. So it'll feel kind of nostalgic and like home, but it also follows a culture that maybe I don't know as much about. And I'm excited to see how that culture mingles into this book. This follows a family of Vietnamese refugees that have come to Canada, moved to Toronto, and opened a family business called Sunshine Nails. However, now their landlord has jacked up their rent and they cannot really afford to keep their business. And also a big chain of kind of nail salons have moved in down the street, and they are really struggling to keep their business. Their daughter, Jessica, and their son, Dustin, move home, and they are going to help their parents save their nail salon. There seems to be a little bit of sabotage going on, a little bit of competitiveness going on, and I love seeing these like mom and pop shops fight against the big stores and the big box stores, and I love that storyline. It kind of gives me that You Got Mail vibe, even though I don't think there is a romance in this book, but they're saving the store, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out in this book. This book I know I'm going to love. It's a fairy tale retelling, but it is a contemporary romance fairy tale retelling. It is Kiss the Girl by Zoraida Cordova. This is the third book in the Meant to Be series. I have loved one of the books in this series. I still haven't read the first, need to get on that. But I've read the second, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This, obviously, Kiss the Girl. It's a Little Mermaid retelling, and it looks like it follows like a rock star or two rock stars. I loved the second book in this series. I ended up giving it 5 stars. Each book is written by a different author and follows a different fairy tale, so you can definitely read them out of order. I don't think they're connected in any way, shape, or form. The first one is a Cinderella retelling. The second one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this is Ariel and the Little Mermaid. And I'm pretty sure the fourth book is going to be written by Christina Lauren, and I don't know what fairy tale that's following, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out next year, so I need to get caught up. Continuing with the trend of retellings because, you know, I just love them. I love them. I request them a lot. I have Pride, Prejudice in Pittsburgh by Rachel Lipton Scott. This is a YA retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and it's sapphic. Need I say more? I don't think so. To be honest, I know literally nothing else about this except that it is Pride and Prejudice and sapphic, and that's all I needed to know, and I think that's all you need to know. And hopefully I'll be reading this in a vlog very, very soon to tell you what I think of it, but I have very high hopes. Next, we have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the series, and I cannot think of the series. Maple Hills, I think, ? The first book is Icebreaker. I have Icebreaker on my TBR for this month, so then I can go into this. I don't think they're related, other than the fact that they happen in the same like world, this Maple Hills world. So I could read them out of order, but I'm not going to because I'm already planning on reading Icebreaker. No big deal. These are very, very smutty. I've heard Icebreaker is extremely smutty, so I'm assuming this is also all the Chili Peppers as well. This follows Aurora and Russ. At the end of their school year, they go to an end of the year party. They're college students. They get into a drinking game, which results in a one-night stand. He forgets to get her name. Not the best start to a romance, but here we are. And they go off to be counselors at summer camp. They don't realize they're going to the same summer camp and they meet up there. There is a no fraternizing policy at the summer camp, but I'm assuming they break it.
Agreements are made to be broken.
I've heard it's extremely smutty. Anyway, that's what this book is. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited for Icebreaker. I'm excited for this. I have high hopes for both of them, and fingers crossed they live up to the hype. Then we have Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is Ali Hazelwood's first ever YA debut, and I did not realize that this was YA when I requested it. I probably wouldn't have. As you can see, I do have some YA on this TBR, but I don't read a lot of YA romance. There is a few that I have picked for various reasons, but I don't typically pick them up. I saw Ali Hazelwood, thought it was adult. I have enjoyed Ali Hazelwood's other books. I've given them 3 or 4 stars depending. I just saw that she had a new book coming out and I requested it and got it. But I am still excited to see how this author takes on YA. This follows Mallory. Mallory has given up on chess. She's done with the game until she's kind of roped into doing a charity event and playing one last charity game. She's going up against Noah, who's considered the king killer and the bad boy of chess, and I'm assuming some sort of romance ensues. Betting on You by Lynn Painter is actually on my TBR for this month, so hopefully this is coming off before the end of November, off my NetGalley shelf and getting a check mark as done. That is the plan. It follows Bailey and Charlie. They have gone to school together and now they are working at the water park for the summer as lifeguards, and they have somewhat of a competitive nature. So they start kind of betting on who shows up at the water park and who is going to end up together by who's flirting with each other of the people kind of attending the water park for the summer. And at some point there's a romance. That is the worst description of this book that I could possibly do, I'm sure, but it's all I know about it. I haven't read it yet. It is on my list, and hopefully it will get read this month. We have The Other Mothers by Katherine Faulkner. This is actually going to be a B&K Book Club book for next year. So this is going to be on my NetGalley shelf for a couple of months, but that's okay. A little sneak peek into what might be coming for B&K Book Club next year. There you go. This follows a new mother, Tash. Tash is wanting to launch herself into a freelance writing career when a young nanny is found dead. This nanny has been found murdered and is connected to some of the people in Tash's new mothers group. Every couple of days, they meet up for their children to play and for them to talk about kind of what it's like to be a new mother or what it's like to have a new baby. And this nanny is a part of some of these women's lives. So she starts to investigate to launch herself into this crime freelance writing career. Who murdered the nanny? Well, we just have to wait and find out. Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham is maybe potentially another book club book for next year. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So again, another book that will get read early next year, but not quite right away. And I would love to give you a detailed synopsis of this book, but I read it and I don't think I could adequately tell you what it's about, other than it follows 4 sophomore college girls who live off campus in a house. And as they're living in this house, there seems to be some rivalries happening amongst the girls. And then all of a sudden, the fraternity next door, someone ends up dead from the fraternity. That's really all that is in the synopsis, and what that all has to do with each other, I do not know, but we'll find out. Next, we have The Search Party by Hannah Rochelle. This was toted on NetGalley as fans of Lucy Foley and fans of Ruth Ware. I am a fan of both of these people, so I needed to read this book. And it seems very reminiscent from the synopsis of the style of Lucy Foley, that whodunit murder mystery versus a straight thriller. 5 friends go away for a weekend of glamping, and something happens that changes everything. I'm assuming there's at least one murder, but we'll see. We follow a police investigation, hospital confessions, and also the trip itself. So there's multiple timelines, multiple perspectives. I'm excited to see what happens and see if it lives up to kind of my expectation of that type of whodunit mystery. I do love that style of thriller. It's not everyone's favorite, I know, but I personally really do like that style. So I would love to find another author that does it well, and hopefully this will fit the bill. The Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder by C.L. Miller is touted as fans of Richard Osman would love this book, and the synopsis definitely gives me those vibes, those Thursday Murder Club vibes, which we know I love. So I had to request this. This follows Freya. Freya goes home to see her Aunt Carol when her aunt tells her that her mentor, the person who taught her everything she knows about antiques, has been found dead. She goes home, and Freya and her Aunt Carol, can they solve this murder? It's a cozy. I hope it has some satirical content like Thursday Murder Club does. I know it's written by a different person, but they're saying if you love Richard Osman, you'll like this. So I'm hoping for like a little bit of a satirical vibe to this murder mystery, but also a good mystery. I want a good mystery. I want to be able to like kind of sit down and see if I can solve it. That's what I'm hoping for from this book. We've made it to the last book on my NetGalley shelf. I need to get reading is what this has shown me. The last book is by an author that I fell in love with when I read The Woman in the Library, and that is Sulari Gentill with The Mystery Writer. As I said, The Woman in the Library was a win for me, so I definitely wanted to pick this up. The way it was written was so different with this book within a book concept, and it was so great that I cannot wait to pick up another book. The blurb on the top of the synopsis says there's nothing easier to dismiss than a conspiracy theory until it turns out to be true, which is definitely a catching line. This book follows Theodosia. Theodosia leaves her job as a lawyer to show up on her brother's doorstep to write a book. While there, her mentor, another mentor, is brutally murdered, and Theodosia wants to find out what has happened. How does this murder and this investigation influence the writing of her book? Well, we just have to read this book to see. This seems like another book within a book concept. It doesn't say that in the synopsis, but just from what I'm reading, I'm getting those vibes again, which, since I know the author has done that in a previous book, I'm excited to see it done again because it was done very well in The Woman in the Library. Anyway, that is the end of what is on my NetGalley shelf outside of the 4 books that I still have left from the last time I did this update. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.